Thank you so much.
Yeah. So bye bye. You want to sleep, Abby?
I want to rest. I mean, since yesterday, we left the same time yesterday. I'm not rested like this. I've not slept.
Yeah, you should sleep. You
Ah,
should
the
sleep.
furniture company. Okay, yes, we have worked on that one now.
Yeah, we worked on this
Mm,
one. But this is different from that one. This question is different from this
different
one. Yes. If you look at this
from the
one, the
table of
production
food.
process for each is similar in the both require a certain number of hours for carpentry and labor in the painting department. So
Wow.
for each table, take 4 hours of carpentry and 2 hours for painting. So each chair require 3 hours of carpentry and 1 hour in painting. So here we are looking at X and Y, and our X is carpenter work, and we are looking at level.
This will carry a whole 12.5 marks. Ah, God have mercy.
Yeah,
Which year is this? What
but
year is this?
this is also linear programming. You need to solve it. You can see you're looking at maximizing profit. This is 2022.
Ah, current one. Ah, Jesus have mercy.
Hmm. You want to sleep or you want us to solve?
Please, let's solve this one. Mm.
Mm.
Will it take time?
It will not
Linear
take time like
programming.
that because you already are not like you already have some experience already. Abi.
Yes.
So
But
there's
the problem I have. Sorry, the problem I have is how to understand.
yeah. Now, if you look at the question, like I said, first of all, what you need to do, you define your variable,
You
right?
understand?
Mhm.
Um, to the question. Yeah. No, everything is inside. Ah, shit, man.
Define your
Please,
variables.
let's go. Let me do
Your,
something.
your variables, first of all, is you define your variables, and your variables is usually x and y. I think that's the first thing.
Yeah.
Define variables x and y, and then x here. Now, you said the furniture company produces table and chairs. That is x and y.
Yes. Table
Table,
and chair.
chairs, x, y. So your x is your table, and then y is your chairs. Now, the next thing after getting the variables is your constraint. We need to get the constraint. So here, we need to extract the resource requirement. So what does it require? First, the first constraint here uh, is going to we have the carpentry department. You understand? We have the carpentry
Mhm.
department. We are also looking at the painting department. So we look at
Department.
we can say that the production process for each is similar in both required is similar in that both require a certain number of hours for carpentry and labor in the painting department. Okay. So for each table, it takes 4 hours of carpentry work and 2 hours of painting. Do you get now? So that is the
Yeah.
constraint. So for chair, it requires 3 hours of carpentry and 1 hour of painting. Now during the production period, 240 hours of carpentry time were available. That is what now that is actually the limit. You understand? So
Mm.
200 of that is the available time for carpentry work is 250, 240 hours, and then about 100 hours in painting. So each table sold yield a profit of 7 naira. Now each chair produced was sold for 15 naira profit. You understand? Now using the
Mm.
graphical method, find the best combination of table and chair to manufacture in order to reach the maximum profit.
So we are
So
looking for maximum.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So now in this in now like I said, so our constraint first one is the department, right? We will need to just just copy the question, let's just solve it. Let's just solve this question too. So like this one now we have Uh, our X is for tables, right?
Yes.
X is for tables, and our Y
Y is for chairs.
chairs. Chairs. So, and then our constraint now. Let's to add in our constraint. The first one is carpenter. Understand? So the first constraint is what? Carpentry. And then for table, we need 4 hours. Abi? And then for chair,
Mm-hmm.
we need 3 hours. Abi?
Yes.
So, so let's move on. So now this is what we do. So here we're now going to say, okay, we now have 4x. 4x is for,
Mm.
what is for?
Table.
The 4 hours as for carpentry, Abi?
Yes.
And then
Yes.
plus how many now? Plus 3 hours, Abi?
Yes. For painting. 2 hours. 2 hours.
No. Okay, this is, no, this is
Carpentry.
half. Each table take 4 hours of carpentry and 2 hours of painting. Abi?
Yes.
Now, so now this is the thing. What we are looking at here now, it's the chair, not the time hour. Do you understand? Now this
The
is
chair or the
our
table.
X. Our X is what?
Our X is table.
Our Y is what?
Chairs.
Okay. So why are you saying now the carpentry and the painting are the constraint? You understand?
Yes.
Now our own this thing that we are looking at. So now this is we now have 3 hours of Y. Three Y is now equals to what? Hmm?
Chairs.
Cheers. Sir,
Chairs.
do you get?
I get it now. Yes.
So it's going to be less than or equals to what? 240 what hours? 240
Um,
hours. The total available hours is 200.
hmm.
Do you get?
Yes.
Of 200 hours. Because if you look at, they said the 240 hours of what carpentry time were available. Do you get the
Yes.
point now?
Yes.
So the next constraint now, our next constraint is now going to be constraint two is now going to be what? Painting. Abi? So
Yes.
they said 2 hours of painting. 2 hours of painting. Abi?
So
That's the
yes.
first one. We have 2 hours of painting.
Yes. 1 hour of painting.
Yeah. Because the 1 hour, 2 hours of painting is required for table. They said it, for
Yes.
each table, it takes 4 hours of carpentry and 2 hours of painting. So that means it's
Yes.
2x. X is for table. And then plus for each chair, it takes 3 hours of what? Carpentry and 1 hour of what? Painting. That means this
Of
is now y
painting.
less than less than or equals to less than or equals to what?
100.
100 hours
100.
of painting. You get? Okay.
Yes.
So now you have formed the inequalities, and then the next thing now is you're looking at the non-negativity constraint, which is like the 0, 0. So y is greater than or equals to. uh,
Mm.
y is greater than or equals to 0 and x is greater than or equal to 0 because the y is the y cannot produce negative tables and 0 cannot and x cannot produce negative tables, right? And then y cannot also produce negative table. That is why it does. So now the next thing we need to do, we need to define the objective function. And what is our objective function? Is to minimize our profit. Do you understand? Our objective function is to minimize our profit. And the profit side of it is like, if you look at it for X, is for chair. So they say for each table that you sold, you make a profit of 7. So that means our objective function is going to be Z is equals to 7X plus for each chair that you sold is now 5Y. You get that is our objective function. Chicken.
Okay.
Abi? So
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
we can now have to the next thing we're going to do now is to convert we can now convert our inequalities to equation. So the inequalities I mean is the constraint here. You understand? We have two constraints. Uh these guys. So we have this. So we'll convert this to normal equations. So we'll say convert this supposed to be objective functions. So we want to convert our inequalities to equations to get. Yep. So now we have converted it, and then this is what we have. You understand? So the next thing now we look at, we want to we have this, and then the next thing we now look at the to want to find the intercept for each constraint. You understand? That is when we now start saying when
Why?
zero is when x is equal to this, do you get? So we
Yeah.
want to look at the intercept. So for equation one, um, for equation one,
Which will be okay.
when x is equals to zero, right? When x is equals to zero, what is going to be our y? Y is now like 204 divided by 3.
Uh-huh.
Abi?
Yes.
Or if we
Why?
can say, Abi,
Yes, yes, it is. 240 divided by 3.
what do we get? Y is now equals to what?
80.
80.
80.
Y
Yes.
is equals to 80. So when y is now equals to 0, y is equals to 0, then what is our x?
Y is 0.
Hmm?
X is 240 divided by 4.
Hmm? So
Yeah.
what is divided by 4?
60.
We now have 16. Our x is now 16. Now, what we just did is for this constraint, what? The
Yeah.
first constraint, which is constraint y. We never do this one for this constraint 2, which is painting. So now this is where, so for this line here, so what we have here now is 80. No, this is 0,
0 and 80.
0, 80.
80. Um,
This one now 60,
0, 50.
Not 060 now.
Yeah.
Is it not 60? 60
60
0.
zero.
Yeah. So the 60 here is for x. Do you get?
Yeah.
It's for x. So we now do the same thing here. So when y is equals to x, when x is equals to 0, and x is equals to 0, what is our y? Y
Y
is
is
equals to
0.
100.
Y is equals to
Hmm?
yes, yes.
Y is 100, Abi.
Yes, yes.
So when x equals to 0, Abi, so we do again. So when y is now equals to 0, then x is
X
what?
100 divided by 2
That's
is
50.
50. Yes.
Abi? Hmm. So
Yes.
that means here we now have 0,
0, 150.
0, 100, and then
50.
50, 0. Okay, so we can see. So now with this now, right? We have gotten this. So the next thing we need to identify the feasible region. So the feasible region is where all the constraints are satisfied simultaneously. Do you understand? All this is best to satisfied. So we we are going to look at we're going to look at the simultaneous equation here. So this is our equations, right? We have the equations here. This one, and this one. You get, so this is the equation. So we can see this is equation one and equation two, right? So you want to solve it simultaneously, like you said, please. We are going to substitute the equation. We're going to substitute from equation two, right? We now substitute into equation into equation what? One.
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So this is what we'll do. So now what I want to do here now is we can say, okay, let's make y the subject of formula from this equation, from equation two. Do you understand? From equation two
Yes.
now we can say, okay, y uh, from equation two, let's say, okay, y is y is equals to 100 minus 2x. You understand? Then let's substitute it. Then we substitute to equation one. So what is equation one? Equation one is 4x plus 3y is equals to 2
True.
240. Right. So now what we are doing now, we are going to say is 4x plus 3. Then we now put 100 minus 2x, and then equals to 24 240. So we now have 4x 4x plus 300. You understand? That is 3 times this
Yeah.
300. Then minus 6x abi equals to 240. So from here we now have we have 4x minus 6x will give us minus 2x. Do you understand?
I'm understanding mostly.
So now look at it now. Let's say we collect like terms, right? Let's collect like terms. So we can say okay, 4x minus 6. Then we are taking everything to this side now. So we now have 240
Mm,
minus 300. You get?
yes,
So if you do this now, we are going to now have minus 2 minus 2x. It may not want to enter because Excel will want to bounce this to get. So this will now supposed to be minus 2x to get. Now minus 2x is equals to 240 minus 300. That means will be like minus 60.
minus, yes,
Minus what?
60,
Minus 60 abi. Ehen. So
yes,
we now see have minus 60. So we can see. So if we now do 60 minus
cancel,
minus divided by minus, we get like positive.
yeah,
That means 60 divided by 2 is now what? Then our x is now equals to what? 30.
40,
60 divided by so we now substitute. So now the next thing we are going to do now, let's uh, substitute x in equation. We can pick equation 2. Equation 2. And what is our equation 2? This is our equation 2. Or we can even use equation 1. But let's use equation 2. So substitute x in equation 2. So 2x, which is equation 2, right? Plus y is equals to 100. So 2 into 30, right? Plus y equals to 100. So what we're going to get, 2 times 30 will give us 60. Abi? 60
yes,
plus y equals to 100. So that means y is now equals to 100 minus 60. Then that will be what?
40,
That will be 40, right? So that means here we now have our x is now equals to like so here our corner point is now going to be 30,
40,
40. Okay. So now we are now going to do our this thing, right? So we now say okay, our objective function. Remember our objective function is where is it? Objective function
yes,
is this one.
let it equal to 7, yes, 7,
Yeah, this is our objective function. So our objective function now, we can now have, let me just do something like a kind of a summary so that to give you more. Yeah, so we now have this corner point and we have x, we have y, then we have uh, objective function, which is this. We have objective function, which is this, and then we have uh, the profit, something like this. So now the corner point, the first one is 0. Here we're going to have, let us say, point A. Let us say then x. Here is going to be 0, and here is going to be 0. Then what do you have here? 0. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And so what is here is going to be, let's say, 7 into 0 plus 7 into 0 plus
Yeah.
5 into 0, right? And then
Yes.
it will give you what? 0.
Yeah.
So the next one, let's say we're looking at point B. So this one here, we have, that is where we now have what? So if you look at this one now, we pick, um, yeah, when we solve, that is when x is equals to, so now we will pick from x equals, when x is equals to, in this equation, when x,
Yeah.
right, when x
Yeah.
is equals to, when x is equals to, now what do pick this one, and we are, because we are going to pick when x is equals to y, our, when y is equals to 0, y is equals to 50, then we now pick
X
uh
is equal to
50. We pick x is equals to 50, so we pick 50, and this, we pick this, we want to pick this guy, and then when 50 is, when we now have 50
X.
and this, so we'll come up to this, on this one. And for this one now, when x is equals to what? This, we pick 8. That's our y should be 8. We now have 0 and 80. Now this should be c. Then we have d is going to be 30, 40. So we now do this thing. 7 into 50 plus what?
350.
Plus 50 plus 50. Then what do we have? Mm,
350.
I'm gonna get the phone. 350. Okay. So this one is going to be 70. Going to be 7 into 0 plus 5 into 80. So that will be 40. And then this one is going to be 7 into 30 plus 5 into 80.
What then?
60.
60.
So what is the answer? Answer is now what? This one is the answer.
Yeah. Yes, the math.
So that is the answer. So it means that, so the D here give us 40 30. The corner points are going to be 40 30. It gives the maximum profit. Do you understand? That's all.
Yes. Please, um, calculate this again.
I
The
should calculate what? Hmm?
7 by 30 is what?
Okay, which one is
Hmm,
that?
7 by 30 should give
Okay,
us 210.
okay. And then this, okay. Okay, what is this?
Supposed to be 410, not 6.
410, Abi?
Yes. You are okay. There is a multiplication. 5 by 80 is 5 by 40. Is it 80? It's 40, not 80.
Okay, 40, Abi. Thank you. 40.
I'm
Yeah.
having a different answer. Like, how it come with it?
Yeah, so that's it. It's 40. But it's still, that's the
It's still the
answer.
answer.
Yeah, that's the answer. Me, I already know is the answer. You know, when actually the answer usually, most time when the answer falls within the all these other coordinate that when y is equal to 0, it's when you have to minimize. But whenever you are pro, you're actually going to maximize. You're going to get the highest, and the highest can only come from when you satisfy both y and x.
As it. That
Mm.
substituting each of them in.
Yes, simultaneously. When you have value for x and y. But you know there are some for minimization now, you know, you are looking at the smaller one. So so
I'm grateful.
so that was
Yes,
all.
I'm
You can so this
grateful.
solution it's okay. So we have gotten the answer for this one. So do you want to go and sleep now, Abby?
Please, let me bow out. I beg of you.
Okay. So, bye bye.
I answer.
Yeah.
I just need 20 marks. Make I just get to move on with my life. No, I'm so grateful. Thank you so much. I'm really
Yeah.
grateful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah.